friends and welcome to Obsidian Soft. In today's tutorial, I will teach you how to use the Maps component in MIT App Inventor. We will build a place finder app. As you can see, a green marker is showing at my location. I can choose a type of place or in map terms, an amenity such as a hospital, school, ATM or restaurant. And all the places fitting that amenity within 2 kilometers of my location will show up as markers. I'm using OpenStreetMap API for doing this search as it is 100% free, doesn't require you to enter credit card details, and doesn't even require an API key. So perfect for students. The user can tap on a marker and its name will show up, and a dialog will pop up asking the user whether they want to get directions using Google Maps. If yes, we will use Activity Starter to open up Google Maps with those coordinates. Doesn't it look exciting? A fully functional and useful app, and you're learning so much. So let's begin. Open up MIT App Inventor, go to Projects, start a new project. Let's call it Place Finder. Keep the toolkit default, very important, and then click on OK. For screen 1, I'm going to make align horizontal center, align vertical center, and the screen orientation should be portrait. From the user interface palette, drag and drop a list picker and make its background color orange, font bold, font size 18. And change the text on it to choose place. Now, in this elements from string, we can put in what values should show up in this list picker. So I am going to type in hospital, restaurant, ATM, school. So this is a comma separated list, okay? And the spellings of these words, these places, amenities is very important. Now from this maps palette, drag and drop a map below this list picker and make its height 70% and width fill parent. Now from sensors, we need a location sensor. Let me turn this off first. From connectivity, I need an activity starter and I also need a web component. And again, from user interface, I need a notifier. So 4 non-visible components: location sensor, activity starter, web, and notifier. Our screen design is done, so let's go to the block section. First, we are going to make a few global variables. So our first one is for our home, latitude. So I'm going to keep LAT short for latitude and home lat, and this is basically in the beginning, it's just a number 0. Right click, duplicate, make this now home longitude, and what next? I also need a global variable for my markers that will include my home marker and also the markers for the amenities. So this is an empty list. So from lists, get the create empty list block, right click, duplicate, and we also need one for places names. Okay, so this is also an empty list, and we also need a global variable for the clicked marker, and this is in the beginning just an empty text block. First, we will work on putting a green marker on our home location. So we are going to make an empty procedure. So the first one, the one without the result, and let's call it go to home. Next, from the location sensor, get its location changed event. So this event is triggered when our location sensor determines our location. So it will be called the first time when the location is determined, and then any time we change our location. So what I want to do is that to make sure that my marker, home marker, is set only once and not just when we are moving the phone around and our location is changing, I am going to do a check from control and if then block, and here I'm going to check if my list is empty. Which list? My markers list. So this is to make sure that I only do this once when my markers list is empty and I've just started the app and the location has been determined for the first time, then the list is empty, so I'm going to set my home marker. So first of all, I'm going to set my home latitude, the variable, the global variable, to the latitude determined by the location sensor. Right click, duplicate. This is now the home longitude, and this we have to change to the longitude. This is basically this longitude. And then I'm going to call my procedure go to home. And now we can finally work on our go to home procedure. First, we are going to center our map around our home's longitude and latitude. So for that, I am going to call set maps center from string block. So if I go down, I have this one here, and it wants a string in the form of latitude comma longitude. So it's basically a join of three things. So I click on the cogwheel to add another string to it. Okay, and the first one is our home latitude, and if I right click, duplicate, the last one is our home longitude, and in between there's a comma. So just an empty text block and I type in comma here. Okay, now I am going to set my markers list, because remember that we might change our type of amenity from a restaurant to a school or a hospital. Then in that case we need to remove the old markers, so I need to empty my markers list. Okay, so that is the reason why I made a procedure for go to home, because it's not just being called from my location changed event, but it will also be called whenever I choose a different place in the list picker. In all cases, I need to empty my markers list, and then I am going to make a local variable, and this is basically my home marker. Okay, and I am going to call maps create marker procedure. So this is basically a dynamic marker that will be created with the name of home marker on our map. Okay, and the latitude, our home latitude, and the longitude, our home longitude. Okay, then I am going to set the properties of my home marker, and for this I'm going to use the amazing any component block, because using this I just need to provide it the home marker and it will set its properties. Okay, so any marker, and if I go down, I have this set marker title block. Hover over the home marker to get the getter for it, and I'm going to set the title to a text block that says home. So what is the purpose of this title? That is, when someone will tap on it, a small info box will show on top of it. But we first need to enable that info box. So right click, duplicate, and choose enable info box, and this is true. And then I am going to set the color, because remember I was showing my home location as a green marker. So right click, duplicate, fill color, and then go to colors and get the green color. And now I'm going to add this home marker, our local marker that we had dynamically created, to the markers list. So variables, get block, markers list, and the item is my right click duplicate my home marker. Okay. Now, when the user chooses an amenity or place, the list pickers after picking event is triggered. Okay. First, we need to check that our location sensor's latitude is not 0, because if it is 0, this means that the user hasn't turned on his location or there's something wrong with the location sensor. In that case, this app will not work. So we will show an error message using the notifier. Okay. So from control, get the if then else block, and here we are going to check using the logic equal to block, make this not equal to that location sensor's latitude is not equal to 0. This means in this case we should proceed with our app, and in this case we should show an error message that location sensor's latitude was 0. So from notifier, get the show alert block, and here we're just going to show a text message that says something like this, that please turn on your location, exclamation mark. And in the other situation, we are going to set web1's URL, so go down to a join of 7 things. So from text, get the join block, and it needs to have 7 things in it. So click on the cogwheel, add 7 slots. So I need 2 more. Okay, so now I have 7. And what will go into these? So first is an empty text block, and I will give this in the video description too. This one. This is our call to the API. So I have to copy it and plug this in. This is whatever amenity has been chosen in the list picker. So list pickers selection. Okay. And then another empty text block, and I have to put in this. So till this comma. Okay. So square bracket close, round bracket open, around colon 2000, which means within 2 kilometers, and then comma. So the spellings are very important. And then the location sensor's latitude, another text block. So an empty text block that says comma, and then right click, duplicate. This is my longitude, and then an empty text block, and I have to type in or paste this in it. Okay, so I will give all this in the video description. Okay, and then I'm going to call web1's get procedure. Okay, now remember that any call to web1.get will trigger the web1's got text event. So get that web1's go up and this got text event. Let's have a look at what usually is returned by the API. When I give it a call and I give it my longitude, latitude, and I tell it to show me, for example, a restaurant within 2 kilometers, then it returns it in this way. And as you can see that this is in dictionary form, and we have to decode this dictionary, and against the key elements we will get a list of places where each place is a dictionary, and then we have to get the longitude, latitude to put the marker there, and we also need to get the name of the place. Okay, so coming back to our code, what we are going to do is that first of all we are going to make a local variable, and this is my response dictionary. Okay, and I am going to provide it my decoded dictionary by calling webs JSON text decode with dictionaries block. And what is the text here? This is the response content, okay, returned by the server. Then, as I showed to you before, that against the key elements we need to get the list of places. So again I'm going to make a local variable, and this is the places data, and from dictionaries I have this block get value for key, and the key is elements. So the spellings are super important. If I miss even the S from elements, then this code will not work. Okay, and what is the dictionary? This is our decoded dictionary, and because our places data is a list, so if not found I should make it an empty list. Next, we are going to reset our global places names and maps feature. This is to remove all the old map data. In case, remember that we can be changing the place name, amenity name from the list picker, so we need to renew our map with renewed markers. So for that we need to empty our old places names. So I'm going to set my places names, so where is it, this one, to an empty list. And now this is the tricky thing, that I have to set my features, set map one's features to an empty list too. So this will clear up the map, remove all the markers from it. And then I am going to call the procedure home, because when I'm going to clear up the map's features, my old home location, that is the green marker, will also be cleared up. So I need to redo the home marker thing with the green marker. So this is important. So call go to home, and now comes the main part of creating those dynamic markers on our map. We go through each item, that is each place in our places data list. So for that, from control, I need the for each item in list block. Okay, and here the list is my places data. Now I am going to make a local variable, and it will stay name, that's okay, and I am going to get the value for key name. So again, the spellings of the key are very important. In the dictionary, and again I need to get the value for key tags here, and that will give me the correct dictionary. Because if I go back here, you can see that the name of the restaurant is inside a dictionary against the key tags. Okay, so I have already done a JSON to dictionary tutorial for you. So if you do not understand what I'm doing here, you can have a look at my tutorial where I have introduced JSON and decoding and dictionary. So here again I need the get value for key, and I can right click, duplicate, and now this one is, now the spellings are again very important, tags, and this is my places data, the item, the place. Okay, and here this should be an empty dictionary, because against the tags key, if it doesn't find anything, it should return an empty dictionary, and this should stay not found. Okay, and now I need to add this name variable to my places names list. So from lists, get the add item to list block, and here my variable list is my places names, and what I'm adding the name local variable that I just created so that it becomes a part of my places names list. Okay, so this is the name of the amenity. And then I am going to now add the actual marker. So for that I need another local variable, and this is my marker. And again from map I'm going to call my create marker procedure. And what is the latitude now? Remember, our latitude is against the key lat and lon. Okay, so I can actually right click, duplicate, and this is now lat. And if it is not found, let's just make it an empty text block. Right click, duplicate, and this is now LON. Now again, let me reiterate, spellings are very important. And I'm just going to now use the any marker within the any component blocks to set its title. So set the title of what thing? The marker that we just created, and to what? To our name. So this is the name of the amenity. It could be a restaurant name or a school name or a hospital name. And then I am going to enable my info box so that if user taps on it, the name of the amenity will show. So enable info box, and it requires the value true. Okay, and what next? Now I'm going to add this dynamic marker to my markers list too. So from lists, get the add items to list block, right click, duplicate the marker, and I can actually reuse this get block and choose markers list here. So our marker has been now added to the markers list. So this is what my got text looks like. And now once we have gone through the for loop of our places data and we have constructed all the markers, we have to set our maps features. So where is the block? This one. So outside this mustard color for loop, I'm going to set my maps features to my markers list. Okay, so that this is important, you need to put your markers, give them to the maps features, otherwise you will never be able to remove them. So this is why when I do this map features dot to empty list, they are removed, all the existing markers are removed, and then I renew the markers by making a new markers list, and then I set the maps features to the newly filled markers list. Okay, so what happens when any marker is clicked? And here what am I going to do? I'm first of all going to check that this is not the home. Okay, so from control, get the if then block and check that the marker, which is the component, is title is not equal to home. So again from any marker, get this title block. So I need to first of all get the logic equal to block, make it not equal to, and then plug this in, and the component is the marker that has been clicked, and we have to check that its title is not equal to home. Now again, spellings are very important. So this is the home that we typed in our go to home procedure. So this one, so spellings are very important. if you type in with a small h, then this will not work. Okay, so the marker dot title is not equal to home. Then I am going to set my clicked marker to the component, and then I am going to use my notifier to show a choose dialog. So this is something new that we have not done before. So this is something that you are learning for the first time, that how to show a choosing dialog. So here the message is a text block that says, do you want to open directions to this location, question mark, and the title is right click, duplicate the name of the place, the amenity, and button 1 text is no, and button 2 text is yes, and I'm going to make it not cancelable, so make it false. Now when the user chooses something inside the notifier's choose dialog, notifiers after choosing event is triggered. Okay, and here I am going to check using the control if then else block, and in the if I'm going to check if my choice is yes. So from logic, get the equal to block and hover over choice, and text block that says, now the spellings are important, exactly the same way, so Y capital ES. Okay, and then I am going to, in the case the user wants to visit and see the directions, then I am going to call my activity starter and set its action to an empty text block that says, now I will also give this in the video description, the action is this one. So android.intent.action.view, and then my data URI of activity starter, so I can right click, duplicate, choose data URI, an empty text block that says this. So this is the call, the way to start the Google Maps in activity starter. So this is basically a join. So from text, get the join block, and it is a join of 4 things. So click on the cogwheel to add 4 things, and now the first one is an empty text block, and I copied it from here. Okay, and here that is the reason why we were storing the clicked marker, because we want the latitude and the longitude of the click marker. So from any marker, get this latitude block, and the component is our clicked marker. So here, and this is just a comma. I don't know why this is happening with MIT App Inventor, that my extra slots just disappear. So right click, duplicate, and now this is the longitude. Okay, so this is my call to Google Maps to open up at this latitude and this longitude. Okay, and then I am going to call activity starter dot start activity. And in the case that the user chooses no, then else will be triggered. And here I'm just going to call notifiers dismiss progress dialog. Okay, so this will just close the dialog. Okay, so our app is done, in which we have marked our own location. We can look at different types of amenities within 2 kilometers of our own location. I hope you like this video, and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you find it useful. And please subscribe to my channel if you like my work and don't want to miss the great projects that I've planned for you. The demo at the beginning of this class, this tutorial, was made from the same code that I just coded in front of you. Thank you for watching. Have a good day and goodbye.